Hi, it's Jim, Crazy Dad, and I am going to show you how to solve Kropki puzzles, which I recently added to the site. If you don't know where they are, you go to the home page and you scroll down, and there they are. There are printable ones and interactive ones. If you click on the little printer, you get to the printable page. It'll show the four different varieties which are available to solve on paper. There's basic Kropki, which is a Latin square type puzzle, a Sudoku version, a jigsaw version called Corbett, and a windowed Sudoku version called Chagall. These two puzzles are named after famous people from Belarus, which is where Kropki comes from. On the main menu, if you click on the phone, you get to the interactive version. And I'll use this to demonstrate how to solve the puzzle, starting with the basic Latin square. So this is a Latin square. Every row contains the numbers 1 through 6. Every column contains the same numbers 1 through 6 in some order. In the finished puzzle, you'll have all the numbers, and hopefully 5 and 6 won't be reversed like this. Um, so in the puzzle, black circles are used to indicate pairs of numbers that have a 2-to-1 ratio, like 6-3, or 1-2, or 2-1. um, and then in the Sudoku version, 4-8 also comes up. And then the white circles are used to indicate numbers that are consecutive, like 4-5 or 2-3. Notice that 1-2 can either receive a white circle or a black circle. So there's a white circle 1-2, and there's a black circle 1-2. You don't know, in the case of 1-2, which circle it's going to get. But what you do know is that if there's no circle, then those two numbers, like 4-6 here, do not have either relationship. And that's key to solving the puzzle. If there's no circle, these two numbers can't be consecutive and they can't have a 2-to-1 ratio. So let's start with a blank one. Here we go. So we know that 6 is next to a number that it has a 2-to-1 relationship with. The only available number is 3, which is adjacent to 4. So that makes sense. This must be a 2 because the numbers, it can't be 8 because the numbers only go up to 6. This is either going to be 1 or 3. This is either going to be 2 or 6. What else? We got another 3 here. Oh, another 3 there. We've got probably a 2 or a 5 there. We've got a 4 or a 3, or a 4 or a 6 here. It can't be 6, so it must be 4. And this is probably 6 here. Um, Again, the white circles are telling us that these are adjacent numbers. Um, this can't be 5 because it would be adjacent to 6 and there would have to be a circle. So it must be 2. This is probably 1 or 3. This is 2 or 4. Um, this is 2 or 4 as well, but it can't be 2, so it must be 4, which means this must be 3 because 1 is not adjacent to 4. Um, this is still 2 or 4. So we got 2. We got this long chain of adjacencies here. It's 2, 3, 4. This must be 5. That leaves 1 there. This must be 2 because it's got the 2-to-1 ratio with 1. 6 is adjacent to 5 here. So we've got 2 adjacent numbers here and a non-adjacent number here. And the available numbers are 1, 2, 3. So one of these must be 2. Because 2 is going to be adjacent to either number. So this one is not 2. So it's either 1 or 3. But it can't be 3 because there already is a 3. So it must be 1. So these two are going to be 2 and 3 in some order. These two are going to be 1 and 4 in some order. And because one of them is adjacent to the 5, that must be the 4, and this must be the 1. 4 is adjacent to 3 and 5, but 3 has already been used over here. So it's 5. This is going to be 4 or 6. This is going to be 3, 5, 3 or 5. Okay. This is also 2 or 6 here because of this column. This the only choices left, but it can't be 6 because 6 is adjacent to 5, so it must be 2. That's 6. That's 3. That's 5. That's still 4 or 6. These are 1 or 2 in both cases. 2 is already used there, so this must be the 1, and that's the 2. This is going to be 1 or 3. We've already narrowed this one down to 3, so that's the 1. There's the 2. There's a 4. There's our 6. There's our 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the puzzle is just about done now. I think that's our 4, and that's our 3. Ta-da! So I'll get started on one of the other ones, but I won't finish it just to show you what they are. So if you select the little book icon down here, you can get to the other variants. Um, Unfortunately, they're mixed in with a bunch of other stuff, but Kropki Sudoku is right there. And I'll select that, and you'll see it's basically Sudoku puzzles. So in this one, it's a little more. There's a little more going on because the numbers go all the way up to 9, as you can see, and the 2 to 1s can involve 8s. So it gets a little more complicated, and then I'll show you a Corbett if I can find it. There's a Corbett. I named it after Olga Korbut because she's from Belarus, and also because she got in all kinds of twisty positions because she was a gymnast. And there's our Corbett puzzle. And finally, Chagall, which is way up here. And there it is. And I named it after Chagall because it has windows which look kind of like picture frames, and Chagall was an artist. So one of the cool things about these windowed puzzles is that the numbers 1 through 9 appear in every 3 by 3 block, every row and column, but also each one of these gray windows also gets the numbers 1 through 9. So you get extra containers. And in fact, you get hidden containers because in these 3 rows that contain the gray containers here, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, those all contain the numbers 1 through 9. Same thing is going on here. Same thing is going on sideways, going across the 2 blocks, 1 through 9, here, here, and here. And finally, the corners and the center also contain the numbers 1 through 9. So you get basically 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 9 extra containers, which makes it actually easier to solve in some ways, but you have to pay attention to them. If you don't pay attention to them, it might seem counterintuitive, and it does reduce the number of clues. So that is Kropki. I hope you like it. Bye.